G'day everyone, welcome back to part 2 of how to play MTG Arena. In this episode, we're looking at what's in a deck. Now, we're going to look at a pre-built deck that came with the game that I deleted a long time ago, but I remade for the purpose of this video, and it's called Boros Legion. It is a pretty easy one to pick up. It uses a lot of different abilities, so it's a great one to start to look at, and it's pretty powerful as well, and it's a lot of fun. So I've made a one-for-one copy of this deck using the cards and appropriate versions of them. So looking at this deck, this is a two-colored deck, which we call Boros. Boros is the name for when you use white and red together. It also is the guild, which is from this set, the two sets, Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance, where all these cards come from. But you might ask, saying, what are the colors? Well, there are 5 colors of mana in Magic. Mana is what you use to play the cards. It also is an association for every card. Most cards are associated between 1 and 5 different types of mana, and also colorless mana. But we'll get to that in a second. So the 5 colors we have are white, blue, black, red, green. We have colorless. This little one is any cards that are associated with more than one color. So obviously let's turn that off. So, whoops, turn that off. So these are cards that have more than one color associated with them. So for example, Kingdom of the Returned King has every color in his description. So he is his, what do you call it? They are, blanking on the word. Or these lands have dual lands, so they have dual colors. This one has more than one color, So these are your more than one colored cards. But for the sake of this video, we're only looking at white and red. Now, let's look at the deck. It's really difficult to go into the full thing of how Magic works, but we're going to look at a very basic. I'm going to try and explain to less than 5 minutes how it works. Okay, in Magic the Gathering, you are essentially a Planeswalker. Planeswalkers, let's look at some Planeswalkers, are people, elves, cat people, demons, sentient creatures that can basically travel between dimensions. So in this universe that we're playing in, there are multiple different planes. Planes are like planets, and each planet has a theme, which is usually some sort of rip-off of some sort of culture or thing from Earth. So in Theros Beyond Death, we are looking at ancient Greece. So everything's kind of ancient Greece themed, which is where this dude comes from originally, before he died. Spoiler. So most people like us cannot leave our world. We're stuck there forever, but every 1 in a million people has this ability called planeswalking, which basically means they can teleport from one plane to another and basically wander the infinite multiverse, which is what we call multiple different dimensions. They can just jump from dimension to dimension. These guys, usually guys and girls and cats, are usually extremely powerful and usually have some sort of cool ability. For example, all these Chandra people, Chandra is a pyromancer. She shoots fire. Gideon used to be invincible. He can make himself pretty much indestructible, which is a pretty cool ability. Sarkhan talks to dragons. Dovin can see the weaknesses in things. Teferi messes with time. So Saheeli makes robot things, which are called artifact creatures, which are basically just enchanted robots. Ral makes electricity. Samet one, I forget which one she can do. So Domri talks to animals. These are only for these colors, so these are sort of things. So each one has a sort of ability. In the lore and the thing, you are a planeswalker, and you summon other planeswalkers and creatures to fight a battle against another planeswalker in order to defeat them. That was a pretty quick deal of what's going on, but essentially, yeah, that's it. So anyway, in your deck, we have multiple different cards. We have creatures, planeswalkers, instants, sorceries, artifacts, enchantments. I think that's all. Yes, I got them all. Sweet. So let's look at the first card. The most important card in your deck are creatures. Creatures are what you can attack with. So creature card looks like this. Let's look at this basic one, Healer's Hawk. Now, if you look at the top right corner, you can see a white mana. This means it costs 1 Plains mana to cast. That's its casting cost. Its name is in the top corner, Healer's Hawk. There is a picture of the card, and you have a type of creature. It is a creature, and it is a bird. This is not really important for most times, but sometimes you have decks built around certain types of creatures, like maybe knights, maybe hydras, maybe giants, maybe birds. If you wanted to, that'd be a cool deck. I'd love to see that. Next to it, you can see the little symbol. This is the symbol for, I'm pretty sure this is Guilds of Ravnica. I'm pretty sure it's Guilds of Ravnica. Let's double check. It is Guilds of Ravnica. Yes, I love when I'm right. Beautiful. Alright, now, on a regular Magic card, if you look in the top left, in the left of the card here, you can see a quotation saying, "The wounded see the glows of its vials long before they see the wings diving out of the clouds." This is what's called flavor text. Now, some cards have flavor text to basically add to the lore. In the actual game of MTG Arena, you cannot see this text, but if you right-click on a card and make it big, you can see it over here in the corner. I realize I'm pointing at my screen with my finger, but you can't see my finger, but you can see it over there. On the left here, you can see the abilities that the creature has. Sorry, clearing my throat. Most creatures in the game have abilities that basically give it enhancements that you can add with other cards, or they have it built into their card. For example, Healer's Hawk can fly, so a creature with flying can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. So basically, flying creatures can fly above the battlefield and strike, and can't be blocked unless you are a person who can also fly, or you have a big net, or you're some sort of thing that shoots birds out of the sky, like an archer or something. It's pretty cool. Its other ability is Lifelink. So basically, when this one does damage to a opponent or creature, you gain life back. Life is your health, and we'll get to that when we get into the game. It will make more sense then. In the bottom right corner of the card, you can see two numbers, 1/1. The number on the left is your power. This is how much damage you can do with your creature. So that's how much punch it's got. The number on the right is its toughness. That's how much damage it can take before it dies. If the toughness goes to 0 or hits 0, your creature will die and go to the graveyard. You can take damage in your turn. At the end of your turn, the damage is reset back to its original amount. So that's kind of important. So that's Healer's Hawk. If we look at something like, say for example, Sunhome Stalwart, it has a 2/2, which means that if you did 1 damage to it, so let's say this guy blocked this guy, he would be 2/1, but he wouldn't die. If he was blocked by 2 of these, he would go down to 0 and he would die. So that's creatures. In this deck we have our Healer's Hawk, Goblin Banneret, who has Mentor ability, which we'll get into when we play the game, Sunhome Stalwart, a Boros Challenger, Legion Guildmage, Swiftblade Vindicator, Roc Charger, Legion Warboss, Skyknight Legionnaire, Tajic, Legion's Edge, Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, Truefire Captain, Light of Legions. These are our creatures. The next one we're going to look at is instants and sorceries. Now, we've got 2 examples here of our instants and sorceries. Alright, instants are spells that aren't creatures. You can cast instants at any point in the game. So, on your turn or your opponent's turn, you can play these. For example, this one, Sure Strike, costs 1 red mana and 1 mana of any color. So I can use another red, a white, a green, a blue, a black, or colors, doesn't matter. But at least as long as one of those manas is red, I can play Sure Strike, which basically gives my creature an extra 3 power, but no toughness, and First Strike. First Strike means it attacks first. And you can use this kind of to chump your way through things and not die. So it's a good one to push over something. Instants can be used at any point in the game as long as you've got the mana to play them. After that, we have sorceries. Sorceries are very similar to instants in terms of their casting costs. The only difference is they can typically only play during your turn. Unless you have some way of changing it, it's basically your turn. In this way, sorceries can be a bit more powerful sometimes because of their restrictive nature of play. You can only play them during your turn. So imagine playing this card. Lava Coil deals 4 damage to any target creature for 2 mana, which is a pretty good card. Lava Coil is a great card, by the way. If it dies, it would exile. When you exile something, it doesn't go to the graveyard, and it's pretty much, for most decks, gone forever. So it's kind of getting rid of it forever. They can't bring it back, which is really good for some decks. Imagine playing this on your opponent's turn. Your opponent plays something, you're like, huh? No, it dies. It would kind of suck. So sorceries are restricted to your turn only, typically. Alright. Next, we would have enchantments. Now, we have no enchantments in this deck, I believe, so we're not going to talk about that right now. We may talk about that when we build our own video. We also have artifacts, which we have none of this, and Planeswalkers. So we're not talking about any of those today. We're just going to look at this deck, which is made simply with 3 types of cards. We also have one last important thing part of our deck, and that's our lands. Now, you saw here that all our cards require colored mana and colorless mana in order to play them. Like, for example, Swiftblade Vindicator requires 1 red mana and 1 white mana. And you may be asking, where does this mana come from? Well, it comes from your lands. Typical decks have 24 lands, but this deck is pre-built with 25 lands. The plains and mountains you see here are your basic lands. You tap these in your turn. Every plains you tap gives you 1 white mana. Every mountain you tap gives you 1 red mana. Now, these are single colored. You can get these for every of the 5 colors, and they come in different arts based on which set it came from, but they all pretty much do the same thing. Here we have dual lands. Now, there are many types of dual lands. We'll get into that into building a deck, but right now we're looking at Boros Guildmage, which basically, when you tap it, you can choose to add either red or white. So it kind of acts for like both colors, but you can only add one. Boros Guildmage is a gate, which means no matter what, it comes down tapped. It means you can't use the mana on the turn, typically the turn it came down. So it's a drawback, but on the plus side, you get 2 colors. On the other end, we have a rare land, so this is common, so that's why. It's common, it's not as good. But here we have Sacred Foundry. Now these are what's called shock lands. They're called that because when you enter the battlefield, you can pay 2 life to have them come in untapped, meaning you can use their mana this turn. If you don't, it comes in tapped. So you have a choice, which is pretty good. So these are, if you're playing this deck for real and you're making your own Boros deck, you'd have 4 of these and you replace these with your Sacred Foundries because you either come down tapped if you want, or you can pay 2 life to get some rush in. We're not going to change this deck, so we're going to play with this we have here. Also, we have lands that are not colored at all. They can have really cool effects, but for now, we're just going to look at this deck here. This is my deck. In my picture, I have a picture of Aurelia, the Exemplar of Justice. In the lore, Aurelia is the guild master for the Boros Legion. So she's head of the Boros Legion. Sorry about that. There was a connection error and my connection dropped, so it just kicked me from the game. But anyway, in the lore, Aurelia is the leader of the Boros, so she controls all of them, and she's an angel. She can fly, she has wings, and she's pretty powerful. She's got a really cool ability. She's also a mythic rare, so you get one of these when you start the game. Pretty sweet. Her abilities involve having Mentor, which means that when she attacks, she can make your other smaller creatures more powerful. Now, you notice here I have a picture of her in my deck box. You can basically take any card you want. So let's say I like Justice Strike, and I just click it, drag it into the picture, and you get a new picture. So you want Tajic, boom. You want Lava Coil, boom. You want a mountain, boom. I'll just stick Aurelia back. Here we can change our name of our deck if we want. So it's called Boros Legion. If we click here, the little symbols here, you can basically look at your deck. You can see your mana cost, what kind of creatures and non-creatures you have, how many lands you have, what type of creatures you have, the deck details, and how your mana is split. Pretty evenly, I gotta say. Here we have our card covers. Now, for you guys, most of you will come down wearing this one, which is the basic one. You can also have a bunch of other ones that you unlock over time. For this sake, we're just going to keep the same card. Alright, that is what is in our Boros Legion deck. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump in and play a game using this deck against the computer, Sparky, and just see how we do and show you how the deck will run and how you can basically play the game. We may do more than one video, but we'll just jump in there and do that. Alright, So let's just jump in and do it. So I'm not going to cut away. I'm just going to hit done. Go to my home page, show you how to play. We are going to wait for the server. Play. We're going to go to bot match. Because no offense, I'll probably get my butt whooped using this deck. But for the sake of showing you how to play, we're just going to play bot match. We'll play us against old Spark. Sparky goes easy on you, so it's a really good one to practice against if you've never played the game before. Alright, so what we've got here is our opening hand. We have 7 cards in our opening hand. We've got you want to have some lands, have some creatures and other spells. You can either keep your hand or you can mulligan. When you mulligan, your hand goes back in your deck, shuffled up, and you draw 7 more cards. However, you have to put 1 at the bottom of your deck. If you mulligan twice, you get 7 cards. You put 2, you mulligan 3 times, you put 3 cards, basically like that. For the sake of this video, I'm going to keep this hand. I would probably mulligan, but I do have 2 cards I can use, so I'm going to keep this hand, so I'm going to hit keep.
I'm ready to play.
Alright. First thing you do, every turn, is put down a land. Now, I can put down either Goblin Banneret, or I can put Healer's Hawk down. I'm going to put down Healer's Hawk. So first, I'm going to play my Plains. There.
I wonder what your favorite card is.
Now, Magic will automatically, if you pull a card, it will tell you if you can cast the card by colouring it in yellow saying you play the card. Or, you can play this and add the white mana and play Healer's Hawk. So, Healer's Hawk will come down, and there it is. Nearly all creatures, unless they have a thing called haste, come down with this little swirling effect, which is called summoning sickness, which means you cannot attack the turn that you played the creature. This allows the game to be a bit more flexible and not just so you can rush your opponent, unless you're playing mono red, which in case you can do that. So, next card I can play Goblin Banneret, but I need a red mana. So, I'm going to play my Mountain, and I'm going to play Goblin Banneret. It's going to come down. Beautiful. Now, this one has an ability, but I can't use it yet because he has Summoning Sickness, so I'm going to attack with Healer's Hawk. 1 attacker, and he's going to attack Sparky. Now, see here, we have our health, our life. Sparky had 20, I had 20. When I attacked with Healer's Hawk, Sparky went down to 19, and I gained 1 life, which is now to 21. Alright, now we have Legion, Warboss, and we have Plains. So, we can either give this guy, makes him 3-2, or we can play this one. Let's see. I think for us, we are going to go and play another Plains. Now, there are a lot of different moves we can do now. We could either play Legion Warboss and have Legion Warboss attack, which I think we might do. I think for the sake of this, we're going to play Legion's Warboss. Now, Legion's Warboss has an ability. Every turn, before you attack, you get a 1/1 Goblin creature. This creature must attack all the time. So, we're going to hit attack with him, and I'm going to do that. He will get blocked by his sticks. I'm just going to look at that for a second. Notice that he went down from 1-2 to 1-1. He took 1 damage. I can see it. He'll draw a card. That's fine. Now, he can attack me. I could block with Healer's Hawk, but my creature would die. So I'm going to hit no blocks. No blocks for now. We're going to play Plains. And here we go. First of all, we're going to activate our ability to get 3. Excellent. Now, here's the fun part about this hand. We're going to attack with all our creatures. Now, here's where the fun part begins. Goblin Banneret can mentor 1 creature. I am going to mentor my Legion Warboss. And this one can mentor another creature, my Healer's Hawk. Now, he can block with my Healer's Hawk, killing him here, but he still takes some damage.
That's going to leave a mark.
Healer's Hawk and Kaikitzir die, go to the graveyard over here, which is not too bad for us. Another Sky 36 comes down. He attacks me for 1. I can't block because this can fly and I have no flying creatures because my Healer's Hawk has just died. But in a few turns, I'll be able to get Light the Legion down for 6 mana, and I can do that. Now, I've got Boros Challenger, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to play my Plains, And I'm going to play Boros Challenger. For the sake of this, we're going to attack with Legion Warboss, and we're going to play our other Legion Warboss. I'm going to use Mentor ability to make my Goblin more powerful. My Sparky will block this one so he doesn't die. He'll take the damage on my behalf. My damage, but that's okay because I can't really block him anyway. Now, I think this turn is where we're going to make our final win. I'm going to try and play my planes, and now I have 6 mana. I can either do activate the abilities of my Goblin Banneret or my Boros Challenger, but instead I'm going to play Light of the Legion. Yikes. Now, this is my most expensive creature. And it has flying, which means I can block the Sky Theater Strix next turn, if there is a next turn. It also has Mentor as well. So, I'm going to attack with Boros Challenger, Legion Warboss, and my 2 guys. Go for my attack. And we're going to make ourselves give our +1 to our Legion Warboss. You have Mentor as well. Beautiful. So now it's 3. And I think that is game. I think it's game. Boom. Went down below 0. And game's over. We win. Victory has been achieved for the Boros Legion. Let's go into another game and play again, because I think that was a lot of fun. And let's try and go a bit slower this time to showcase a bit more of the cards. And try and use some of the instants and sorceries. Now, notice nothing changed here. When you play against the computer and Sparky, you don't get any of your quest rewards. So you can't just cheese her the entire time. So let's play another bot match. Go into the Boros Legion again and play again. So we've got against Sparky, and we're going to use the Boros Legion again. And you know what? For the sake of this turn, we're going to do a mulligan. So this is not the greatest hand. I don't have any creatures, so I'm not happy with this. So I'm going to hit mulligan. New hand. Ooh, I like this a bit better. So I'm going to keep this hand. Now, I have to send something back. For the sake of this, I know my opponent used a lot of flying cards, so I might keep that. I think I'll get rid of Legion Guildmage.
Hey, I can see your hand.
So I'll put this. It will go to the bottom of my deck, and I hit done. Now I only have 6 cards. I'm going to play Mountain, and I'll play Goblin Banneret. Looks like Sparky's playing a green deck this time. Not bad hand. Sure strike. Now that would be really good, and that would kill my opponent, which has Vigilance. So let's see if we can do this. Let's go with our planes, and we're going to next to combat, and we're going to all attack. Now, our opponent most definitely will block with Greenwood Sentinel. Now, right now we have one or two things we can do. We can either, one of 3 plays, we can either activate the ability and our Goblin Banneret will kill Greenwood Sentinel. But since our toughness is still at 1, we would still die. Or we can Sure Strike and give ourselves 3. Giving a Sure Strike will let us hit once and we won't die. I'm going to do this one over. I'm going to go and do Integrity.
But I hope you win too.
Give myself +2/+2, so I get 3/3. Smack him, I don't die. Good play, I've got him now. Generous Stray. Good card. I'm going to play my planes, and then I'm going to play my Roc Charger. Do I want to attack? No. If I attack with Goblin Banneret, he will block, and Goblin Banneret will die, so I'm going to hit no attacks, and pass my turn. And strike off, kill him. Alright, District Guide has come down, allowing him to put a basic land into his hand. So, what we can do now is we can swing and use Sure Strike to smack one of his cards so we don't die. or we can play another creature. I think I'll go with Sure Strike. So I'm going to go into combat, and I'm going to attack with both my guys. 2 attackers, swing, and my guy gets to fly. And I'm going to activate my ability to make myself stronger, do some damage. Our opponent now will definitely attack us with both his cards. He'll take 3 damage. That's fine. He didn't play anything else. So I'm going to now play Sunhome Stalwart. So this is blocker, and I'm going to activate my ability, and I'm going to attack. Give myself the ability to fly, mentor him, make him a bit stronger. I'm sorry, Sparky. I don't like doing this to you. Alright, I'll turn again. We've drawn another card. Now, we'll play the planes. It's good to play a land every turn if you've got them. You can cast more things. Our Truefire Captain requires 2 mountains, and we only have the 1. So we can't play these cards yet, which is a shame because they are amazing. So, we're going to go the same thing again, only we've got Sure Strike. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to...
Hey, that's wild.
Combat. We are all going to attack. 3 attackers. I'm going to make Roc Charger, make my Goblin Banneret fly. And he won't get any ability. Blockers. I'm sure he'll block Sunhome Stalwart. No, he's not going to. So, let's go and attack. Down to 5. And we end our turn. We're going to keep our Sure Strike up, just in case. Will our opponent attack us? Yep. Past blockers. I can't block anything, so I'll pass damage, and I end my turn. Now, he's left himself wide open, so we can kill him next turn. We're not going to, because I really want to play Truefire Captain. I got Lava Coil. Beautiful. Alright. Let's do it. Lava Coil deals 4 damage. Gonna kill District Guide. And so now this card has gone to exile, which is this little one here, the little spinning circle. These are cards in exile. I am just literally only going to attack with 1 card because I don't want to end this right now. Might regret that later, to be honest. But for the sake of it, let's just hit him with that to get him down to 3 and pass our turn. He now has 8. He could play something very big, but he's not because he's got a really terrible deck because that's just how Sparky plays. Alright, let's use Sure Strike this time. Alright, so next to combat, I'm going to attack with my Stalwart Sunhome Stalwart. Now, my opponent will have to block, otherwise he's going to take damage. He's not going to block. That's a shame. So we'll let it happen. Let's get to the point where we can mess with our opponent. So I'm going to pass my turn because I don't want to attack now. Opponent's not going to attack us, not going to do anything. Alright, my turn. Alright, please give me a red liner. Oh, I got Boros Guildgate, so this will come down tapped because it's a gate, so I can't use it this turn. Now, let's do this and let's show you how we can win. I'm going to go Sunhome Stalwart. My opponent will have to block, otherwise they will die. I think the computer's going to make sure it doesn't die. Yep. And for the sake of this, I'm going to play Sure Strike. And I'll make sure this guy gets 3/3 and first strike. He already has first strike, so it doesn't matter. But I'll make him really big. Oh, he's made himself strong. But, unfortunately, we still have first strike, so we shouldn't die from this. Oh. But we did, because our opponent did Giant Growth. Very clever. Make himself a bit stronger. We'll play our other Boros Guildgate, and I'm going to just play my Truefire Captain, because I want him down. Him down, her down? I think it's a her. And we're just going to attack with our Roc Charger, because our opponent can block, and that's the end.
You got me.
Beautiful. Alright, let's go take a look at the deck again, and just see how we've done, how it's going so far. So, we win, we get nothing, because it was against him, against Sparky. look at Boros Legion again. Now, you can change the way you look at your deck with this one here. So I can look at it like this, a bit nicer. The point of the Boros deck is to be very fast, very effective, and basically smack your opponent really quickly, using Mentor to boost your little tiny creatures up to be stronger and stronger each time. This is how Boros plays, very wide. It is a great deck to start off with. Now, what we're going to do now is, this is going to be the end of this video. We've played a little bit with our Boros deck. Well, next time, what we're going to do is we're going to build our own deck from scratch. You don't have to build the same deck as me, but I'm going to show you how I go about building a deck and how you can actually, what you should add to your deck. And we can look at a few of the other card types we didn't cover in this Boros deck. So, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for future videos. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in part 3, building your own deck. Bye for now, everybody.